What is going on? What is going on, YouTube? We are live. We are live. We are back in the building. And special shout outs and happy Friday to you. All right. We here. We live. We are live. Y'all saw the thumbnail. I got a good one for you today. Marvel. What is going on with Marvel? We are tripping. Is it me or is it Marvel? Let's talk about it, y'all. This is something a little different because I want to kind of bring the show to more of a point of, what these major media companies do, and is it intentional? Is it done on purpose to further one show, the idiocracy of what we align ourselves with or how we move? But we got a good one for you. And then also we're going to talk about a little bit of what these quote unquote white commentators has to say about the show. So stay tuned. This is going to be a good one. Make sure y'all do me a favor as you come in the door. Hit the like button for your boy. Hit the like button for your boy. We're going to have a good show. Just a little updates. Me to Mary. We're filming season 3 right now. It's going to be a little bit of time because we are creating Me to Mary to a point that you guys kind of have no. It's going to be way bigger, put it like that, than what you saw previous. Me to Mary is completely changing. I ain't going to give y'all details now, but it's going to be completely different on how y'all seen it before with just a straight up elimination show. No, being that we have somebody that is investing major into the show, you'll see it a whole lot different now. And I'm excited to give y'all what we're going to give y'all to stay relevant. We're going to continue to do these shows. We're going to continue to push this type of content and get the show going. But do me a favor, if you are on Instagram watching, come over here to YouTube. Come over to YouTube and watch it on this side. This is where the money resides. Grown Men Talking. Type that in your YouTube browser, and here we go. Elmira is in the building. Salute to you. What up? And my beautiful wife is in the building. She says, happy Friday, everyone. So let's get active in the comments. Thank you, my beautiful wife. All right, y'all. All right, we got to go. I ain't going to hold y'all for too long, but we got to talk about some type of degeneracy that we see in Marvel, in motion picture and in films. What's done intentionally? And let's talk about, does the critique from the white people have a point? And what do we care about to make it different, right? I think as a people, if we cared more about us, we would also listen and fix the problem so that way we're not at the bottom of these statistics. So let's get into it. Let's get active. I got to share my screen for y'all because something crazy popped up on my Instagram feed. So we got to talk about it. So let's go. All right, share my screen. And do me a favor, like my beautiful wife says, stay active in the comments. Make sure as you come in the door, you hit the like button. Hit the like button over here on YouTube. If you are on IG watching, do me a favor, come over to YouTube. Let's get active. All right, where is it at? Here we go. Let's share this. Y'all can see my screen, and let's get active.
This nerd-erotic panel of men and people not of color have to say about a show with a young black lead. There has to be some genuine commentary happening here, right? Some thoughtful, nuanced breakdown, right?
My stepdad,
black girl magic.
Say the best way to know a thing.
My stepdad, because my real dad left
take
me.
it apart.
So for those of y'all that don't know what we're looking at here, we are looking at some commentators. They come from a channel. Their channel name, don't go over there and try to trash them, but it's Nerderotic, something like that, if I'm pronouncing it right. They have over 1.2 million subscribers to their channel. So yeah, we're attacking the big fish, but let's talk about it.
Are they going to play black music so I know there's a black person starring in it?
I don't know. This is a show about black people until I hear hip hop. Yeah.
So here, you heard that. Am I going to play black music? Am I going to know it's hip hop? And then that's where I know it's primarily black, is essentially what they're saying. Disrespectful, right? Let's keep talking about it.
What's going on?
Wait, I don't know if I'm supposed to like it or not.
Yeah. You could tell when she said stepdad that it was going to be about black people.
You heard it. You heard what they said. I don't need to repeat it. You already know what it was. That wasn't criticism. That wasn't analysis. That was straight up mockery. And not just of Ironheart, but of black culture, black families, black identity.
So, and here's something that I wanted to kind of fix from this young man. Now, yes, that was 100% a racist shot towards black people. 100%. Yeah, black music, whatever. I'm guessing he means hip hop, right? And yes, black American music. It's crazy. So 100% a shot towards the black community, right? But here's where I stand a chance. This is not black identity. This is not who black people essentially are and who we have been. So it's not a part. It just seems as if because the masses put it out there so much that, oh yeah, stepdaddy culture is so normal. But here's the question, is it? So we're going to talk about a little bit of statistics. I wish I had Media Man over here right now to go over this with me, but let's get into it. Let's keep going.
And that smug little tone they had while saying it wasn't accidental. That was intentional. That was meant to belittle, to devalue, to turn a show featuring a brilliant young black girl into a punchline. You hear a black girl mention her stepdad and your first instinct is to laugh. You hear certain music and you start making assumptions about what kind of show this is going to be. You're not pointing anything out. We're not learning anything from you. You're just trying to get a laugh at the expense of blackness, like it's worthless.
What would her Jarvis be called? Jemima?
Jarvisqua. I already said Jarvisqua.
Jaquisha. I think Jamichael works. I'm going with Shanae.
Shanae. Disrespect. But here's the thing. They have I'm going to say it again. 1.2 million subscribers on YouTube. Those of y'all that don't do YouTube, do you know how hard it is to get those kind of subscribers? Do you know how much work you have to do? Sometimes a lot of people get subscribers because of the shock value of the type of content that they say, right? These guys are obviously racist, right? But the fact that 1.2 million people can hear them, it shows you where the country is going overall. Shay is in the building. What up, my people? Shay is here. What up, Shay? I hope everything is good. I hope you're driving safe. So it's crazy. So we look at what they just said, and we all could agree it's off the chain. 1,000% racist. You're calling her Jarvis, Shaquisha, whatever, all the quote unquote black names, right? Whatever black people overall name their daughters or sons, they're making fun of it, essentially. So let's continue with the video.
I'm going to go with shit.
I'm gonna go with shit.
Like with
wow.
Shit, I
Joanna.
think you mean Shithiad.
Joanna man.
Joanna Man. Joanna Iron Man.
Joanna Iron Man.
You want a father?
Oh.
And then the names. The whole joke about
Mind you, these are your bosses at your jobs, y'all. These are the people that we, in some cases have to report to. This is how they really feel about you. Just letting you know that. Just letting you know that. Just letting you know that. I'm not trying to say this is all white people. I'm not trying to say, but look, we got a panel full of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a panel full of 10 older white men. 10 older white men. Now, I have my own issues with this show, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. I'm going to play some other commentary from this same exact channel because I want you guys to break this down with me together, and I want some activity in the comment section because we're going to talk about this and get in depth. What is Disney actually doing to us to give these people ammunition to talk about us the way they do? But let's continue.
About what our AI would be called wasn't even creative. It was just a laundry list of the most stereotyped, overused characters you could pull from your mental filing cabinet, labeled things I think sound ghetto. You're not critiquing the show. You're flexing your own biases and trying to get a room full of yes men to laugh along with you.
They need to be thankful there's Marvel fatigue and nobody's gonna, except for Disparu and a couple people here are gonna watch that fucking show.
I've been looking forward to this for months.
I have too. I like nobody's even gonna bother. Like nobody's gonna watch that.
And then saying the show is lucky no one's gonna watch it because of Marvel fatigue. You're not talking about fatigue.
Let's pause that because I want those of y'all who are pocket watching to understand what Big E Sharp just wrote. Big E Sharp said, it's sad that nothing has changed. It just went undercover. Instead of a hood, they are wearing suits and uniforms now. This is how they really feel. This is how they really feel about us. But let's not even act like media is not perpetrating that part of us. The majority of Black people are good people. The vast majority of us. CDC even has it to where Black men are the most involved fathers in their children's lives. And it's so sad that even when I say that statistic, that Black women have shot me down and fought me against that, asking, prove it. Prove it. Listen, do me a favor. Anybody who doesn't want to believe that Black men are good men, go read the statistics yourself. The crime rate for Black men being in jail have went down significantly over the years. Significantly. Black men getting higher degrees. Black men also, building has also grown as well. Black men being in construction fields like things that they couldn't even get into. Do y'all know that a lot of Black men working in union environments have been blocked out of union environments for years? It's been a thing. It's not just quote unquote Black women that go through microaggression. Black men go through it as well. And we still push through. We don't use that as an excuse not to move forward because we could. We could. We could say the white man, these 10 men don't want us to proceed or grow. And we could literally not advance. But guess what Black men have done over the years? We continue to thrive. We continue to show that we belong. So yeah, things have changed. So we all know, unfortunately, that this thing has gotten way worse. I look at the internet now and I'm scrolling and they have a lot of AI stuff now and it's all racist, y'all. I don't know what y'all algorithm looks like on Instagram, but the way my algorithm looks, and it don't even really be me having to search much of anything. I just need to open up Instagram and it's a bunch of AI videos on Black people eating watermelon, fried chicken. And this is all AI videos. And not only are they created, these channels are blowing up, skyrocketing, hundreds of thousands of views. It shows where we're heading. It's going backwards. It's going backwards.
You're hoping people don't tune in. You want this to fail, not because of its quality or storytelling, but because a young Black girl is at the center of it. That's what you meant. We all heard it. And I don't care what else you said in that video. I don't care what your larger point was supposed to be. Once you let that kind of mess fly, the rest is irrelevant. You can't bury that under 7 more minutes of so-called commentary. You said what you said, loudly and proudly, surrounded by a panel of people who didn't push back for a second. Not one Black voice. And I already know some of y'all thought it was hilarious. But let me tell you something. This is exactly how bias stays alive. This is how people learn it's okay to laugh.
All right, so check it. Let's get into it, right? This is the actual page from Nerderotics, if I'm pronouncing it right. They did a breakdown of the show. So I'm gonna forewarn everyone right now that's watching now or on the replay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you have not watched the show and you're interested in watching the show, this will spoil it for you, right? But I think it's important that we break this down because it's going to get into the mindset of Disney and how they really look at us. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. How you could write a story and put stepdad in it is really, to me, they changed the narrative of many stories. So even if Ironheart was a story that was part of a comic book, it doesn't matter because y'all can see me because it looks like I might be having some technical issues. Could y'all hear me? Could y'all let me know in the comment section because something just happened to my screen. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if y'all can see me. But either way, let me know in the comment section if y'all can hear me because I don't know. Let me look at this real quick. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me because I'm going to pull it up to see if I can see or hear myself. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you, Biggie. Appreciate it. All right. So y'all can still hear and see me. Great. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the mindset behind Disney now. Here we go.
Riri Williams. How do you think Ironheart will shift the narrative for the coming generations? Yikes.
I love that Lyric looks like us. You know what I mean? Long nails, long hair, popping out here.
After starting on a Marvel show, like, where do I go from here?
It's directed by 2 Black women.
Black Girl Magic. I think we have a very special message. I think you gotta recognize who this is.
For 400 years, that word has kept us down. Took a whole lot of time just to get up that hill. Now we up in the big leagues. Getting out there back.
How does that make you feel like one of the original Avengers? Say that.
Loves Iron Man too. Get on the bandwagon. It's here. We're here. And Tony's on the bandwagon, so you know what's the problem?
Exactly.
RDJ is here.
Right.
It's nice here.
So it's one thing to critique the show. It's one thing to look at the show as if I don't like it. That's cool. If you're a critic of the show, be a critic of the show. But to add racism in it, that's the problem. So let's continue.
Morning.
You went full retard, man. An imbecile. Like the dumbest mother that ever lived. Just farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off.
Man.
It's high science, man. It's art form. You an artist.
Oh my God, thank you.
Never go full retard.
Nerderotic.com
Friends, Disney Marvel's had a rough time of late. It's been almost a year since the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, the billion-dollar box office smash, and as predicted, it was just an anomaly and it would be right back to the regular scheduled Disney Marvel programming, and it's been all downhill from there. Despite Bob Iger repeatedly saying over years when it comes to Disney Marvel that they were going to start focusing on quality over quantity, over the last 9 months, the opposite has happened as Disney Marvel has put out a steady sewage stream of slop featuring A and B list characters that even comic book fans would have a hard time caring about, that are radically altered in some form or another, be it the passing of a mantle or just an outright race and gender swap, so these characters can reflect the Los Angeles that they live in today. We've gotten theater kids Marvel with Agatha all along.
The gayest project Marvel has ever done.
Yup.
Which admittedly is the best.
So that's a problem for me. And it's not the fact of the LGBTQ, it's not a matter of that. What matters to me is what Marvel does to show things that you could have watched with your kids can no longer be a thing because, hey, do I necessarily want my kid to watch a man dressed in a wig? No. That's not going to be my thing. It's going to happen, right? As far as exposure, as far as what he'll see when he's outside, when he's on the streets, it's going to happen. But do I want to expose my kid to that in the household? No. But let's continue.
The best performing Disney Marvel thing since Deadpool and Wolverine, coming in 45th on the Nielsen Top 100.
Yeah, well, there's no accounting for taste.
But after that, Captain African American flopped. Daredevil flopped.
Racist,
the Thunderbolts flopped. And you know the House of Mouse and Marvel, the House of Out of Ideas, was expecting at least one win in there. A win they didn't get. And this brings us to Ironheart. Maybe Kevin Feige was thinking he could sneak this in between a couple of hits. Turns out that was
not a great plan.
Not only not a great plan, the worst plan in the history of plans. If you recall, Ironheart was announced on December 10th, 2020, and filming was completed in November of 2022. And then Kevin Feige actually watched it.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
And after 2.5 years and almost a dozen attempts to re-edit this turd, they could delay it no longer, and they finally released a trailer in the shortest amount of time in Marvel's history and herstory between any MCU project's first trailer and its release date.
Iconic.
Which was ratioed into oblivion for good reason.
Iconic.
Because it turns out adapting an unpopular character from an unpopular comic that was canceled multiple times.
Iconic.
And then deciding to have the genius idea to adapt it into a television show that cost between $100 and $150 million, coincidentally greenlighting it right after the events of the Summer of Love, purely as a virtue signal, adds to the Olympus Mons of evidence that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige
don't know what the they're doing.
And despite Kevin Feige himself reportedly saying that Marvel feels more like homework than entertainment, Ironheart requires homework. But it's really not that much. According to Disney Plus, all you need to watch is Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther,
Elmira says, what's considered a movie flop? How much of this related to viewer numbers shifting in the past 5 to 10 years? Let's analyze the facts. So I'm guessing what's considered a flop is, one, what type of money you put in, right? So if I put in how much of a million, how much he said, I forgot the exact number, and it doesn't relate or make that back, then yeah, that's a flop. Right? You're not making money. Avengers, we could all say Avengers made Marvel a ton of bread. It did wonders for Disney, right? It's way more than somebody viewing it or streaming it for free, right? The idea for these major companies like Disney, like Marvel, is going to be to actually have a return on their investment. And a show like this, here's the thing. You look at certain things like, what was that? The Color Purple, the remake of The Color Purple. Well enough should have been left alone. When they remade The Color Purple, that was a problem. It didn't really do that great, right? So yeah, I would say no profit. I would say if you don't make a profit. So if I spent $10 on something, my idea would be how could I make 15? If I put $1 million, I'm gonna want to make 150 million. Everything has to kind of be more. So yeah, like these movies are really coming up with like one-hit wonders. If you do pay attention to a lot of the seasons, how Marvel have been dropping things, they haven't been going as hard as they could because essentially they're not making money. Here's what Marvel's doing though. And this is where Marvel is becoming a problem for the average American. This is what I'm seeing. They are forcing you to be comfortable with things that you might not be comfortable with in your house. Now, Black people will only make up 17% of America. So if we're 17% and yet, you know, of course, we want to feel inclusion. So we want to feel as if what I see on TV, the person looks like me. So a young Black girl. But here's something that Marvel also does. Whenever there's a young Black princess, not Marvel, I mean Disney. Whenever there's a young Black princess, whenever there's, you know, any type of Black, you know, figure that is the main character, they always do one, pair her with a white person. That's why I personally don't even let my son watch it. Because for me, there's that. The other part, because there's not enough Black actors, Black male actors, right? The other part to it is too, the LGBTQA plus community. That's another thing that they do. So Disney has, we all know that the heads of all of those executive companies have a lot of, you know, people from that community in it. And it takes away from the viewer experience if you don't want your kids watching a man in a wig. Now, what they also did on this specific show, because I had that conversation with my wife, I was like, we can't have my son watching it because of that. Right? So I was like, yo, I can't personally have my son to watch that. So what's popping? What's popping? Says, so it's okay when everything is white, laughing at LMAFO. He says, only people that complain are racist and dumb ninjas who want to fit in coon up. Ironheart is the best thing out, the best thing they put out. Listen, that's your opinion. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying that I don't want my son to watch Ironheart to have anything to do with it being a Black character. I personally love it. I love to see inclusion, but let's not act like the majority of people that watch these shows are our people. It's the majority white because the majority of America is white. So yeah, I personally have a problem with it because it pushes the narrative of, you saw it, there's a man that's in this show that's completely dressed up like a woman. I can't have my son watching that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I have rules and things that I set in my household that I have to stick to. And I truly believe the exposure as parents, especially as men, of what we expose our children to, it creates and scopes their reality. So if I intentionally expose a man in a wig and my son gets curious, who's to blame? Me. He could see it when he's outside and he's in the mall and he see a guy walking down the mall and he could visibly tell that that's a man, but he got a wig on and long nails and lashes and he looks like his mom, so it could confuse him. Shout out to Candace. Candace is in the building. What up, what up, what up? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand on it. I stand personally on, it has nothing to do with changing the Black to a Black character. Now, 100% you're right. You know what I'm saying? These white people, they in their feelings. They never like to see Black people changed into a new character. That's not my problem. My problem is what I just said. Big E says, when a movie doesn't make back the production and marketing financial costs or Considerably more. Yes, there we go. That's exactly what a flop is. You know what I'm saying? It's all about money. Hollywood is about money. Even YouTube, no matter what you do, if I invest in equipment, the idea is that I'm going to see a return on my investment even at some point, even if it's not tomorrow. If I knew I spent money on lights, because building Meet to Marry at my level is super expensive for me, right? But the idea is if I keep filming, I keep investing money into it, very soon I'll start to see a return on my investment. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the problem, and also the problem I also have with Disney is exactly that. They don't show enough Black connection. They don't show what it is for a Black man and a Black woman to be together. It's always a white man coming to save a Black woman. Is there not enough Black men to save Black women? And that's the problem. And it continues that narrative that Black men are no good. It creates the mindset of you need a white man to come and save you. And this is I'm not trying, listen, I'm not racist. And I got to make the disclaimer out here. I love my people, period. You know what I'm saying? I love my people, period. But there's enough Black men to go around to save Black women. You're going to tell me all of these great Black male artists, you couldn't recreate The Princess and the Frog and made that a whole Black man in Louisiana, one of the blackest cities in America? You couldn't recreate that? You know what I'm saying? Disney's racist at heart. Why they keep messing up Marvel Studios. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if y'all can hear me. This thing keeps blacking out on my side. It don't even look like my computer. It looks like my internet is glitching out. So I really hope y'all can hear me good. But needless to say, right, we're going to continue with this racist rhetoric. I'm tripping today. And, we'll go from there. But hold on, let's continue because for some reason my internet is tripping. All right.
For Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and What If. But there is some good news. You don't have to watch any of that or this show. So after almost a half a decade from conception to excretion,
I don't know what's going on.
Ironheart has arrived. And unsurprisingly, we have to break this meme out one more time because our expectations were low, but holy f***. Keeping in mind, Kevin Feige in these last 5 years had every opportunity to can this for the write-off, but instead he made the worst mistake Marvel ever made. It is indeed the Marvel's acolyte, although maybe not as. It's 25 minutes of content stretched across an hour and a half, not counting the 18 minutes collectively of credits, which were sweet relief. The show could be best described.
Like I said, if you guys do want to watch the show, this is a disclaimer right now. This is 100% going to ruin your experience if you haven't watched it and you want to. All right. So I'm just warning you now. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me because this will ruin your experience. But we got to talk about it because, yes, this channel, as big as having 1.2 million plus subscribers, could talk about the Black community the way they do, and we let it rock. Amir's in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Listen to what he's saying. Everything he's saying is racist. It's crazy. But we got to talk about it, though. We got to talk about it. All right, let's keep going.
It's described as boring, frequently interrupted with the purest forms of cringe and unintentionally hilarious.
That right there is my problem. Hold up. Let me rewind that for y'all real quick. Hold up.
Boring, frequently interrupted.
That right there is my problem, y'all. That right there. And it's no knock to that community at all. The community do what they do. I just have my standards and preferences in my household, right? I have my standards and my preferences in my household. I cannot watch that in good faith with my son. Now, check it, right? Check it. What I like to do is watch reviews of a movie or a show before I actually go watch it with my son. I can watch things like this by myself because whatever, right? I'm a content creator. It helps me build content. But if I know that I'm going to take my son, like I was able to watch Iron Man with my son. They never do that when it pertains to a main character that's white. Could y'all remember on the Iron Man where they had a character that looked like that? Where are Iron Man? If I'm correct, Ironheart is a continuation after Iron Man died in come on, y'all. What was the name of that one? Endgame? Was it Endgame? It was Avengers Endgame or something like that. Ironheart is supposed to be a continuation of that. What happened to this young girl who was so inspired by Tony Stark that she now built her own iron suit? So cool. They had many Avengers, Marvel movies that built a whole series of it. And not once did I see any man, and why a black man at it? The comic book character is a white man that weighs like 500 pounds. Why did they put a black man with makeup on and long nails? You see, things like this are done on purpose, y'all. Things like this are done on purpose. They feminize the black man. And yo, listen, I got to get deep with y'all. They feminize the black man. It's not done by accident. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not done by accident. This is intentional. This is to show and get your sons to feel. Remember, we talked about representation, right? So just as much as it is to turn a white comic book character into a black one to make black people feel included, well, the only time they show a strong black man, yes, I'm happy that they did that to Captain America, where they showed us a black man, Anthony Mackie, to be Captain America. To me, I love that. But then on the flip side, end up doing something like this. Why not show, there's a lot of white men that's drag queens. Why not show that? There's more of them actually. So why not show that? But we got to do it because it's based in Chicago. It's based with a young black girl. So let's align her with this. And boom, we got a classic. This is why Marvel is going to fail. This is why the money's not going to be there, because people with the respect for their families and respect for what their kids watch don't want to watch this. Sorry.
With the purest forms of cringe and unintentionally hilarious due to the portrayal of diverse characters in the most stereotypical way possible. I've put this off long enough. Let's talk about Ironheart. Now, credit where credit is due, a show that clearly knows it's one and done, doesn't waste any time, and alienates the audience right off the bat, because this is how it starts.
Here we go. Okay. Just to let you know, your girl finna be bigger than John. Right. Bigger than Gates. Right. Bigger than Pim. Right. Bigger than Stark. Yeah. Come on.
Spoiler alert. Just so y'all know.
The thing your girl finna be is as big of a failure as the Marvels. But to be fair, she could potentially be as big of a villain as Bill Gates. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, Riri's friend Natalie says this.
What do you want more than anything? A knife to thorn his hammer.
And his hammer? Well, I guess that's on brand for Disney.
Flick too hard, damn it!
Anyway, most of the first episode is dedicated to getting to know Riri Williams, and I gotta say up front, she is the definition of grace and humility.
I'm here because I can be the greatest inventor of my generation. I'm gonna need the equivalent of a whole vibranium mountain to be great. Do respect Detroit.
Now he's talking about grace and humility. Black girl talking about she could be the best. That's how you're supposed to think about yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So yeah, he was trying to be sarcastic by saying that. So yeah, man, this guy is a clown. And let's see something real quick, right?
What do I get?
Let me see something real quick. What does his view count look like for this episode? 477,740. And 4, I'm sorry, I'm tripping, acting like I'm dyslexic. Here we go. I miss the days when we thought Thor was bad. She's like Rachel Zegler, I don't know who that is, without singing talent, right? Never go full Riri. I hate the line. Yeah, so they get views. They get comments. They get it all. They get it all. It's crazy. But this is what's popular. This is what people want to see. This channel, like I said, 1.2 million subscribers. 1.2 million subscribers of pushing out hate, period. Point blank, that's it.
Get out of matriculation. Some job in Palo Alto with a tiny window and a bunch of guys I have to pretend to like. I want to build something undeniable. You want me to be small, but I refuse.
Now it's here where she gets called out on her and it's also an unintentional description of the show.
That's a hot pile of garbage.
But then it's right back to it.
You, Riri Williams, are making an iron suit.
People are obsessed with them. I could build 1,000 other things and no one would care. But if I could build one of them better than everyone else, people got no choice but to respect me.
And it wouldn't be Disney Marvel if they weren't taking a shot at the legacy character that she was supposed to be replacing.
I need cash, money. Do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire?
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
How come you're not working at, like, I don't know, Stark Industries or something?
He contributed immensely to the field, so I won't roast Tony Stark off rip. But I don't have $1 billion.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
But it doesn't end there because the cracker, more accurately described, on-crack writing team at Disney Marvel attempts to make Riri even more endearing by having her get expelled for selling completed tests to students.
You sold completed assignments to students at every school in the area.
After that, Riri steals the Ironheart suit that she thinks she's entitled to because she built it with money from a grant.
She built that with her own grant money.
And she flies home to Chirac with the help of the MIT AI, who's a gay pencil.
Sup, I'm Trevor, MIT's teaching robot and virtual operational resource, and your very own AI assistant.
Wait. And they did say gay eye assistant. It did not say AI assistant, by the way. That's a problem. That's a problem. You see what I'm saying, y'all? What are these companies really doing? What are they doing? This is done on purpose. This is what they want our sons and daughters to be. This is what they want us to watch. This is what they want us to enjoy. I wish if they kept that stuff out of it, oh my God, like I'll be watching this tonight with my son. But because that's in it, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
And your very own gay eye assistant.
Now, if the show ended with her being expelled, 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, it didn't. But if you're a viewer out there who made it past this part and to the end of the first 3 episodes, you deserve reparations.
Hey, yo, get
Mad racist, y'all.
So Riri makes it back home, cut off from her gay pencil AI and broke. And through a series of contrived events, she runs across another race-swapped character from the comic books, the Hood, who we will now call Da Hood, and his League of Extraordinary They-Thems, who we'll get to later. And just in case for a moment you forgot that Riri Williams was a genius, they decide to remind you again.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius, but I said to myself, Parker, you gotta meet this kid up close.
Quick reminder, that was a line of dialogue that was written by a human, delivered by a human, sound edited by a human, edited by a human, and approved by a human, and actually released by other humans. After some slight apprehension, Riri Williams decides to knowingly join this criminal organization.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't even know how this person has a platform and people are not reporting it. Like, I'm not a snitch. Y'all know, I'm from New York. We don't really be snitching on people like that. But come on, son. There's a lot of people that snitch out there. Y'all be snitching on people. Y'all snitched on Kevin Samuels a million times, hit the report button on him a million times because he was holding people accountable. I've seen so many content creators get reported for even cursing on their content. But this person could say whatever and make it up to 1 million subscribers. Now, I don't know. I'm not trying to knock YouTube because obviously, I'm on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand. I'm really trying to understand, how does this person stay relevant after what he's actually saying? You know what I'm saying? Jones says, my comments get flagged, yet they can spew this BS. He said, I'm going to make a black version of his channel. I'm going to be honest with you. You won't make it. I'm going to keep it a buck. Yo, I always say, like, me and one of my boys was having a conversation last night. And in that conversation, I'm going to make myself a little bigger here. Hold up. In that conversation, we were talking about, like, racism, right? And the one thing that we were talking about in that conversation was, the root behind a lot of what's happening right now is racism in our communities, why our communities don't have much, and why we are the way we are, right? So, that's where I'm at. Hold on. Iron Keisha is the worst mother ever. Listen, I think personally, it's the worst because of them allowing to have LGBTQA plus people in it. That to me is a problem. I don't mind them coming up with a show. Yes, there's some heavy Marvel scripted people here that truly understand and want Marvel to stay what Marvel has been, right? So I get it. Some people are like, I'm looking at Marvel from a different standpoint. Some people just want to be entertained. So there's two groups of people that watch these shows. Now, when it comes down to what I allow in my house, I'm not going to allow my son to watch a man dressed up like a woman. I refuse to. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm not going to allow my son to watch a man dressed up like a woman. I'm not going to allow my son to watch a black man dressed up with long nails like a woman. Can't do it. Will never do it. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so me and my boy was talking about, we were talking about that. We were talking about racism and racism being a major part of what's happening in the society now. My stance on the conversation was this, like, listen, then what? I always look at myself as then what? So we could talk about what the solution is, but then what? I mean, what the problem is, but then what? Is there a solution after the problem, right? Is there a solution after the problem? So we all know, like you said, that person's name is Slug, whatever that means. But that's the original comic. That's the person's name in the comic, Slug. And it was a white man, but they made it a gay black man. Why? Why not just make it a regular black man? but it had to be a gay black man. Okay, cool, fine. The problem I'm having more is my personal opinion and belief. But like I said, I always come to the word why. Why are we, why are we doing what we do and not looking at it like, let's get past what the world is giving us? So if I realize that something's holding me back, I know I have to work a little bit harder to get to my goal. That's what I got to do. In my industry, the higher you move up, the wider it looks. It is what it is. And I'm talking about my regular 9 to 5 in corporate. It is what it is. It's life. So how do I create my own business to where I run it and the head of it looks like me? So I try not to go on the way the world should be or the way I want it to be. I go on the way the world actually is, because you can't fix it. You can't fix Martin Luther King. Look at what he did. Did he really look? We're right back at it now. Like I forgot who said it earlier, but we're right back to a point where it's more racism now in suits than it was in hoodies. So before they wore hoods, now they're wearing suits. What's the difference? So I'm not going to cry and complain about it. I'm not going to also beg people for an opportunity. I go out and I create the opportunities with the people that want to create it with me. And that's how you build. And then what I do is I push one major component that we lost as Black people. Family, communities. There's no such thing as wealth without a baseline of community. And the only way you build that is by believing that what you're doing is bigger than yourself. So fellas, if you marry a woman, if you marry a man, that marriage needs to be bigger than you. So this way, when now you feel upset and your feelings are hurt and you feel bored and you don't just divorce because of that. Because the marriage is supposed to be bigger than your feelings. But unfortunately, not my people that's watching right now, but the mass of people out there, unfortunately, the mass of people out there were taught that marriage is supposed to be you feeling happy in the moment. Not thinking that marriage is a fleeting feeling that right now I feel happy, but tomorrow I might not. So because I don't feel happy for an extended period of time, I'm going to dismantle my whole family unit. And unfortunately, this is what all of this pushes. So even in this, where they wrote the script of a stepfather, other than an actual father, they could have changed the script. They changed it in so many different ways. Write it as a father. That word means so much when you hear it as Riri had a father or Riri had a stepfather. What does that sound like? Y'all can let me know in the comments. Am I tripping? There's more power in the word father than it is in stepfather. It is. Riri had a father. Let's keep that. But no, they'll write the script. This is Disney Marvel. They would write the script because it's a Black woman. They would say she had a stepfather. Problems. Let's continue with the video.
Organization when they promise they don't hurt anybody.
Look, I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's not like that.
Okay, so what do you do?
Theft, extortion, breaking and entering.
See, it's fine. Now, most of the next 2 episodes dedicate an excruciating amount of time reconnecting Riri Williams with her dead best friend who's now an AI. So for the sake of your valuable time and our collective sanity, I'll try to get through this briefly. The one component Riri Williams needed to get her suit working again was an AI, which she was able to pull off after knowingly taking money from a criminal organization. While she was trying to replicate the AI of the isolationist ethno-state Wakanda, through plugging her brain into her laptop, she fell asleep thinking about her dead best friend, which manifested her into artificial intelligence. I think at this point, it's prudent to point out Disney Marvel's efforts to show the lived experience of marginalized people. Because it turns out Riri's stepdad, Gary, and her friend Natalie were killed in a drive-by shooting.
Message!
And now
Crazy.
Natalie is back as an AI.
But listen. Let's talk about that. Does he have a point? Does as racist as that was, does the man have a point? Disney wrote this to give them something to talk about. Don't think for a second that you need to feel part of an inclusion where this person and this person that I'm close to got murdered in a drive-by. How many of y'all know people that got murdered in a drive-by? I could guarantee you the majority of my audience is black. How many of y'all know people that got murdered in a drive-by? How many? So, and I know none of y'all do. I know none of y'all do. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it real. Why is that the lived experience that Disney had to write for this story? Because she grew up in Chicago? Let's keep it real. Like there's an agenda that they're doing here. There is an agenda that's happening here. Like as much as I love going to the Disney parks with my son, with my wife, as much as I love that, I'm really starting to really rethink where my money goes. Should I be spending money with my family in those type of places? You know what I'm saying? Granted, I know we can't turn around and say, oh, anything that's racist, I'm not going to spend my money on, because if that was the case, we'd stay home all the time. But when something's blatant and in your face, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? Mustache on movies. Shout out to you. Disney hates black people. He says they are always using these stereotypes. Right. It's crazy. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. There's never the word father. There's always stepdad, drive-by shootings. Like what are we doing? And we would normalize that. Under the other post that I've talked about earlier, there was a whole thing about this. And people were saying straight up, oh no, we need to flood Disney Plus and all go watch this. For what? I don't want to watch nothing that continues to push out the negative stereotypes of the black community. My son is black. I'm teaching him how to be a father. But all of my sons are black. I have 3 sons. All of my sons are black men. I'm going to teach them. I always teach them, stay in your kid's life. As a matter of fact, don't have a kid outside of wedlock. I have a 25-year-old that's holding true to that right now. My other one is 18 who's building a business. My oldest one started his own security business. Literally driving a black truck in New York City and has his armed license to be able to protect his clients. I'm a proud dad. My middle son, he's into real estate and he's only 19. Proud dad. But this is what black boys are getting into now. And when you have a father that's teaching your kids, listen, the way you do it is you make sure you marry that woman before you put a baby in her. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Disney suits never say down with actual black people, right? They just go off what they think is black culture. But here's another thing though, mustache on movies. Here's the thing, and shout out to you for being over here. This show specifically was I believe produced by 2 black women. I know they had a hand in it. I believe the executive producers, the people that really ran the show, was white, right? But it still has a lot to say when there's involvement by the community of people, but they don't control it. You see, with me, this is why I keep everything on YouTube. Even my dating show that I have, I keep it specifically to YouTube because it keeps me in creative control all the time. I say what I do and don't want. And what is going to make Disney fail is that you're constantly pushing the narrative that we're at the bottom for a reason. Why a drive-by? Why a stepdad? Why not a dad? It's a problem, y'all. It's a problem. Let's continue, though.
And an acronym.
You could call me neuro-autonomous technical assistant and laboratory intelligence entity instead.
Give me some of the pain and let me die.
Admittedly, the AI Natalie is a far more likable character than Riri Williams. What's the message there? Well, you'll have to ask Disney Marvel. And their scenes together can be summed up with this.
You know nothing about this man. Don't laugh at me.
Best friend, that's my best friend. I know best friend, that's my best. Come on, no best friend, that's my best friend. Hey.
Now, will you upgrade the suit?
Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. One thing I don't like, and I'm not saying some parts of it, yes, it holds true to how our community of people might act at times. But it's not all, and we don't have to be portrayed that way. Because a lot of Black people are classy. A lot of Black people carry themselves distinguished. But for some reason, Disney is choosing to show this. I'm saying Disney because those that don't know, Disney is Marvel's parent company. So Disney is making a conscious effort to release something that looks like this. Slapping the hands together as if that's how all Black women talk. It's crazy, the stereotypes.
Now, Riri still needs some components for the suit she stole, and this brings us to the trademark Disney Marvel turning a formidable character from the comics into an ineffectual male. And it also might be one of the saddest examples of a downward career trajectory. Alden Ehrenreich, the former Han Solo from Solo, hashtag Solo lost money, now playing, and we're just going to cut to the chase on this one, Ezekiel Zeke Stain, son of Obadiah Stain, who keeps his pop's remains in a Ziploc bag.
The hell, Joe? Why is he in a baggie?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And now the super villain from the comic that looked like this now looks and acts like this.
Heather?
Hey, neighbor.
Hello. You could stop letting your dog poop on my lawn.
Are you crying?
Sorry, sometimes it just happens. It's totally involuntary. And you come knocking on my door with that same iron energy. It's a non-starter, Riri.
Why is there a sweaty middle-aged white man at my door?
I'm 30.
Yo, world class, what up, my people? You are in the building. We are talking about the foolishness, because I know you just jumped in here. We talk about the foolishness that Disney's doing on these shows to portray the Black community at the bottom. So happy you over here, my God. World class is in the building.
36, respectfully.
But at least there's a great bonding scene between Riri and Zeke to Alanis Morissette.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Now, I'm skipping past a couple of characters because they're too boring to mention, but the cast is rounded out with the Hood's gang, the Groom Patrol, and most of them are based on characters from the comics that are changed just a little bit. There's Cousin John, who's
what up,
King.
Happy,
Doesn't
shout out
look
to
like
you.
his last name is King, but you never know. Then there's the Blood siblings, who are based on the Blood brothers, who started out looking like this in the comics. And while using some creative license, there's a slight variation from the source material. Now they're played by a couple of lesbians.
If y'all don't realize too, that's another thing that Disney do, right? That's another thing that they do. So they'll have the Blood brothers turn out to be the Blood sisters, and it's two girls that look like boys, and they're sitting there beating the crap out of men. Then another thing is this. Why? You see what do you see behind the young lady that's sitting there with her fist up? What do you see behind that? It's little symbols that they put on these shows in order to groom you. Y'all think I'm bullshit. They do this to groom your children, y'all. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. They put that to groom your children. Pay attention. A lot of people don't pay attention. But pay attention, because this is done on purpose. The symbols, the flags, the way that they dress. This is why I cannot have my son watching this. It has nothing to do with them changing the color of characters and all that. I don't care about all that. I care way more about what my son sees. Because if my son turns around and starts twitching and painting his nails, me and him have a serious problem. And honestly, if I allowed him to watch this in the house, I would have no one to blame but me. You know what I'm saying? He said they want a rainbow. Mufasa agree. Are you stupid? Yeah, that rainbow. You know what I'm saying? He says, waiting on the oil change to be done before I go to work. Yo, man, be safe out there. I don't know where you at in the world, but out here where I'm at in the South, in Charlotte, every day is like 100 degrees out here. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's crazy. Let's continue.
Lesbians, who in a moment of rare accurate representation are shown in a flashback beating the hell out of each other. But let's keep in mind this is Disney Marvel, and of course they're the muscle, and they beat the hell out of every dude in the first 3 episodes. Then there's Clown, which is an appropriate name for a character in this show. Oh, and Eric Andre is in this for some reason, and I guess his career has seen better days. Playing Rampage, again, just a minor tweak from the comic books. He ends up dying, and his character arc is best summed up by my good friend As Is Me. And last but definitely not least, there's Shea Coulee's Slug, who looks like this in the comics, and I have to admit.
Look, why not just keep that? Why not just keep this, right? Slug, a big white man. But you take Slug and you make him into a queen, a black queen, tapping his nails together. Help me understand, y'all. This is where, like I said, it's the problem has a lot more to do with, you know what I'm saying, with that than anything. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. He says he subscribed. Great stream. I appreciate you. Thank you for being over here and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you. Do me a favor. If anyone that's watching now is not subscribed, please do me a solid and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We growing the channel over here. So keep Slug Hawaiian wearing shirt, old white man. No, they made it into this.
To admit, the resemblance is uncanny.
I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm.
That's Slug, y'all. That's Slug. Yo, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I cannot do it. This is done on purpose, y'all. This is done on purpose. Yeah, world class. You are right. It's under the guise of DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. But a lot of people don't understand that has less to do with Black people than anything. That has way more to do with this community. So they push the narrative onto our sons and our daughters. They say, hey, look, this is okay if you choose so. No, if your child chooses that should just be a choice because of something that they didn't get shoved down their throat from the moment they were 3 years old, that they could understand what they're watching. But the more and more you start pushing this, this is what you get. Yeah, 100%. They push that on purpose. Having them dress in dresses and putting makeup on their face. What? Listen, Listen, I'm not, whoever's into what they into it. That's just like I said, for my children, for my family, I refuse to have certain things being seen. I don't think this is a good representation on masculinity. And especially where our women are complaining about there's not enough masculine men in our community. So if there's not enough masculine men, then you cannot show them this. We got our girl Shantae in the building. What up, my sister? Shout out to you. We can't have that, right? We can't have our boys looking at this as, oh, wow, well, maybe I could be that character in a book. Because kids are very influential. You could show a kid something, and the moment in their minds, if they think it's cool, they're going to reenact it. My son runs around his house with a cape on his back, and he jumps down the stairs. Sometimes he'll even jump down and land like Spider-Man. He'll have his hand in the air behind him. He'll be like, bah, daddy, I landed. Look at me. Because he sees these masculine characters that would jump in the building and beat the crap out of other men. It's a form of masculinity. It is what it is. Now, here's this. I'm not going to show this to my son, yo. I'm sorry. Sorry, Disney.
I'm kind of want to imagine personal swan too.
And for the 5s and 10s of people who actually watch this show, you may be surprised to find out that this is his first acting gig.
It's created by yours truly. Old meets new on steroids.
Nah.
Wait a minute. I lost comms with Riri. Roll call. You there? Hello?
So after Da Hood and the Merry Suicide Squad pull off a series of capers.
I'm not doing it, y'all. All right, I'm done. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't keep going. Yo, I love giving y'all this content, but I can't keep going in good faith because, look, where's it at? Where's it at to me? Right here? I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? As much as I grew up on, your son's whole room is Spider-Man thing. That's what I'm talking about. This is what we got to push on our kids, some form of male superheroes. If you have a male superhero and you're black. If they're white, you're white. It is what it is. Have that form of masculinity in your house. But it needs to be seen. We don't need more of the 1% to try to force something down your throat and say it's okay. I'm not knocking the community. And those of y'all, because I know I'm a content creator on YouTube, I understand that the execs, the heads of it, all that good stuff are part of some of it. Not all, but some of them are part of this community. Not knocking it. Right. But all I'm saying is that I'm not going to continue to promote or have stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. I can't keep in good faith even continue this stream and they're showing this. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Shantae says, yes, my son loves Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Loves Spider-Man. Any form of masculinity, you need to show it to your sons. This is also why fathers are important. Not pushing the narrative of all Black people have stepfathers. We don't. We don't. A lot of us have actual fathers that love us, that raised us. So to keep pushing such and such died off of a drive-by, and after the drive-by, here goes my homegirl that's part of that. My homegirl, boy, they, them, that's part of the, we don't do pronouns. Sorry, I don't do that over here. I got to keep it real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever type of backlash that happens, I got to keep it real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love talking to my audience. I love talking to my peoples. We've been doing this. We've been at this for over a year. You know what I'm saying? I created a whole dating show around the guides of family, around the guides of getting people married. And that's my intent. And that's what I love, and that's what I do. That's why I say support smaller content creators that are doing things major, especially if it has a point to it, if it has a mission, a goal, sometimes, because yeah, we could be bigger than Marvel if more and more people actually responded to what we do. But unfortunately, when they push stuff like this down your throat, you're done. You're done. You're done. You know what I'm saying? There is a whole lot of boys. There's a whole lot of things about boys shouldn't have a kitchen set of toys. I agree. Boys should not have kitchen sets, baking stuff, baking whatever. Boys shouldn't. That's my thoughts on this. 100% you get boys things that help them learn how to build. If you want more masculine men, if you want men that actually care about how to use power tools, like your son should know how to load a drill by the age of like 5. I taught my son how to load my drill. Your son should know how to load a drill. Put on a drill bit, and not talking about a toy drill. I ain't talking about a toy drill. I'm talking about a real drill. If he gets hurt, oh well, he'll be all right. He should learn how to load a drill, learn how to use a screwdriver, understand what it is to look at a tool and identify what it is. By the time they're 5 years old. But how much of us really do that though? But yeah, instead we got our kids now learning how to use kitchen sets. We teaching them how to bake. And then you get mad when that man turns 20, 25, and he's like, mad, he's doing stuff like this. Oh, your mommy, I gotta get my nails painted. Yo, mommy, you know, I need you to take me shopping because I like these tight, skinny jeans. They look good on me, right? And he's turning around like, Ma, how does my ass look in these jeans? And y'all mad at these boys for doing that, but y'all ain't never teach them any type of masculinity. You know what I'm saying? No type of masculinity. You know what I mean? My guy World Class says, he says, now they're learning to do drills on top. Sorry, what? I am tripping today. Now they're learning to do drills on their op at 9 years old. Are we talking about like drill rappers? I don't know what we're talking about. Are we talking about the drill rappers out there in New York? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? On their ops. But that's the problem. You should be teaching your kids how to do the right things, how to do manly stuff, masculine stuff. Put male characters in front of them, right? When you talk about inclusion, it's very important for boys to understand that being men, being masculine men is important. To not be emotional. To not, think that things like this is even okay. And it's up to us fathers to keep them on the right track. And ladies, if you don't have a masculine father in your kid's life, get them in some type of boys clubs, places where there's men that want to teach them how to be better. They have them in every city. There's always groups that will teach your sons and take your sons and teach them how to be men. So do me a favor, y'all. Start showing masculinity. Get them away from shows like this. And if you do have them watch these shows, because here's the thing, I would have never known that they did this if I didn't watch reviews about the show. I would have never known that they had Slug looking like this if I didn't watch the review. So the likelihood is I would have put the show on, sat on the couch with my son, we would have been eating popcorn, this would have came on, and I would have been like, oh, pause, stop. And I would have shut it down mad quick, turned it off like we can't watch this no more. We can't do it. That's why it's important to review things or watch reviews of any movies you take your kids to. It's very important to know what you're getting them into. It's important to care. It's important to understand that boys need to see men, masculinity. It's important to understand these things. If you don't do it, they're going to bump into these things and think it's okay. Now, when your son is talking about clock that with his fingernails, now you want to be mad. What you mad for? What you mad for? What you mad for? You let him watch it. Anyway. Much love, much respect. Thank you for being here, y'all. This is a great show. Stay tuned. We are, like I said, we're working on Meet to Marry season 3 right now. It's about to drop. Well, it's going to be dropping in a matter of a few months because of what we're doing with the show. And as I said, I can't give no disclaimers. I can't let y'all know what we're doing. Just know that the show is going to be bigger than ever. There's going to be a lot of variables to the show, but we're doing our casting and filming now. So we're in the midst of giving y'all some fire. So please stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss Meet to Marry season 3. And if you haven't watched the other prior episodes, go back and watch the full 2 seasons of Meet to Marry. Don't want to miss it. It's been great. It's been real, but check it. I don't have forever. So I will see y'all on the next one. I'm going to tell y'all, but if I could get my life together, but I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Oh.